Welcome back to Vitoucher's Guide to Retouching. In this video, you'll learn how to use Photoshop Actions to automate repetitive tasks and enhance your workflow. I will be showing you how to create the actions I use, when I use them, and how I use them for every single photo I retouch. Before we dive into creating actions, let's understand what Photoshop Actions are. Photoshop Actions are recorded sequences of steps that can be applied to images to automate tasks. Depending on the action you create, they can be applied to either a single image or multiple images through batch processing. However, for today's video, we will be concentrating on actions used for single images only. Actions can save time and ensure consistency in editing. There are 3 actions I use religiously throughout my workflow for every single photo I retouch, regardless if it's a lifestyle image, a headshot, product, or even landscape. These actions save me about 10 minutes of processing and creating new layers and adjustments per photo. Now, I know 10 minutes doesn't seem like a very long time. However, if it takes an hour to retouch a lifestyle image from start to finish using the actions I created in a 6-hour time frame, I have retouched a total of 6 photos. If I do not use the actions, then I am spending an extra hour in total to create these layers and adjustments. I'd rather use that extra hour to retouch a 7th image. In this video, we'll be creating 3 different actions: healing, frequency separation, and dodging and burning. This photo I will be using to create this video today comes from signatureedits.com. Signature Edits has a library of raw images for you to use for practicing. As long as you credit signatureedits.com and do not use the photo in commercial settings, you are free to use them. And before we continue, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and like this video. Now, let's begin. Okay, so to begin, click your topmost layer and then go to your actions panel and click on create new action. We're going to name our action healing and hit record. First thing we want to do is create a group. So go to layer, new, group. We're going to name the group healing and then hit OK. Follow that up with a new layer, name it background, hit OK. A second layer, name it subject, OK. And a third final layer, naming it hair, and hit OK. Then we're going to hit the stop button to stop the recording. And now I'm going to delete my new healing folder and test out my action I just created to make sure that it's working properly in the way that I would like it to work. So by selecting my action, in this case healing, I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And there we have it. We're ready to go. Background, subject, hair. And the folder is also expanded. So that way, once you click on the action, you're ready to begin on retouching, starting with the background, then moving to the subject, and lastly, following it up with the hair layer. And then once you are complete, once you are done and you are satisfied with where your core foundation is for this image and ready to move on to frequency separation, then all you would have to do is just minimize the group by clicking the arrow button and then beginning to start the frequency separation. To start the frequency separation action, again, with the topmost layer selected, all right, what you want to do is you want to, again, we're starting a new action. So we're going to click on create new action and we're going to name this frequency separation and then hit record. First thing we want to do again is create a new group and name it frequency separation. Hit OK. And now what we want to do is we want to do a copy merged layer of what we have on our screen and what's on our canvas. And the best way to do that is go to select, click on all. So this way it selects your whole canvas. So what this does is, regardless of your aspect of your image, whether it's landscape, whether it's portrait mode, whatever size it could possibly be, it's going to be selecting all. From here on, you want to go to edit, and we want a copy merged version of this image. So we're going to hit copy merged. Then we're going to follow with a new layer. So go to layer, new layer. And we're going to name this FS background, FS for frequency separation. We're going to hit OK. Then we're going to go to edit and paste our copy merged layer. Now what we want to do is we want to duplicate this background layer to create our low frequency layers. And in order to do that, go to layer, duplicate layer, and name it low. Hit OK. Next, what we want to do is convert this low layer into a smart object. So once again, click on layer, smart objects, convert to smart object. Now we need to add the median blur. So go to filter, noise, and median. Your median, set it at 8 pixels. Hit OK. We need to apply this filter one more time. So go to filter, noise, median, and then hit OK. Now our low layer is created. However, we need to create a working low layer. This is our backup in case we need to go back to it. So now we're going to go to layer and duplicate this layer. We're going to name this as low worker. Hit OK. Let it do its thing. Go to layer one more time and click on, go to rasterize and rasterize layer. What this will do is it'll no longer be a smart object. Then what you want to do is you want to go to layer, create clipping mask. So what this does is it clips your low worker layer to your low frequency layer. Now our low frequency is created. We now need to create our high frequency, which brings in the detail and the sharpening. We need to, again, duplicate our background layer. So click on FS background. Then go to layer, duplicate the layer, and name it high. Click OK. And drag the high layer over on top of the low worker layer. From here, you want to go to your blend modes and select linear light. Then you want to go to image, apply image. For the layer, we're going to select the low, not the low worker, but the low layer. Opacity, you want at 100%. Blending, you want at subtract. Scale at 2 and offset at 128. And then you hit OK. Now we need to create worker for the high. So we're going to go to layer, duplicate this layer, and name it high worker. Hit OK. Then go to layer one more time and create clipping mask to clip our new layer to our worker layer to our high. And as you can see though, the image is way too crisp, and that's because of the blend mode. Now we change the linear light only for the worker to normal. And that's it. So now our action for frequency separation should be complete and it should be set. So I'm going to go and hit the stop button to stop the recording. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete this frequency separation that we just created and play back my action just to make sure that everything's working perfectly. So I'm going to hit play and let Photoshop do its thing. And there we go. And like always, to check to see if your frequency separation is done properly, when you toggle the frequency separation folder on and off, there shouldn't be any changes to what you see on your canvas. It should be exactly the same. The only difference is when you turn your high off, you have a low frequency, and if you just keep your high on, you have your high frequency. So, and that's pretty much it for the frequency separation action. And the last action we're going to create is the dodging and burning. Just like the healing and the frequency separation action we just created, you want to make sure before you hit that record button, you have your topmost layer selected. Then you want to go to create new layer, and we're going to name this dodge and burn. Hit record. First thing we want to do always is create a new group. Name it dodge and burn. And then hit OK. Now we need to create a new layer adjustment. So go to layer, new layer adjustment, and you want to select curves. Name this burn. Hit OK. Click on the center of the curves layer adjustment and bring it all the way down to about halfway to the bottom right corner. Then click on layers, click on the mask, and Command I to invert your layer because we want it off. Next thing we have to do is the same new layer adjustment. Go to curves. This time we're creating the dodge layer adjustment. So name it to dodge. Hit OK. And same thing, but this time we're going to go the opposite direction and we're going to go towards the top. And bring it again about the same spot as we took the burn adjustment, just on the opposite side. Click on layers. Click on your mask. Command I to invert. And the last thing we want to create is the DNB assist, which is the black and white layer and a additional curves layer to adjust the brightness and darkness to enhance the blemishes that we need to dodge and burn out. So we're going to go to layer and we're going to group this one so it's easier to turn it on and off, and then go to new, create group. This will create a group within the group and name it DNB assist and hit OK. Then layer, new adjustment layer. First thing you want to do is black and white. You can keep this as black and white. Doesn't really matter. And then hit OK. We don't need to adjust anything. We just want it to be black and white. Last thing we want to do is create another curves layer, but we're not going to adjust it. This one we're going to name dark / bright and hit OK. We're not going to adjust this because we're going to only need to adjust this as we dodge and burn. Go to layers and then turn off the DNB assist folder. So that way, once your action is played, if you want to go ahead and see your assist, you can just turn it off and then adjust as you go. Don't forget to hit stop. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this layer, this action, and then play it just to make sure that what I just recorded works perfectly. And there you go. So one click. My dodge and burn is there. And now if I want to dodge, I can do so. If I want to adjust the dark and the bright to bring out the contrast between the darks and the brights, so that way it just gives me a little bit more intel for the dodging and burning process. And that's pretty much it. So action. So let's do this from beginning to end now. So I'm going to delete all of this. I just opened up my image and I'm ready to retouch. All right. I'm going to go to button mode, right? Because I use the button mode to make things faster. So I'm going to click on healing. I'm going to start to heal using the healing brush. I'm going to start on the background and remove anything that doesn't seem to be needed in the photo. Then move to the subject we move to hair, right? Same thing, start cleaning up the hair, the unwanted hair that we do not want. And then now that I'm happy with where I'm at so far, I can now minimize this healing and then go to my frequency separation action. One click, let it do its thing, and there we go. And now I can go ahead and start my retouching process on the frequency separation portion. Then you turn on your high, zoom in using the clone stamp. I'm going to start taking out certain things that I do not want, fixing anything from the cloning that needs to be fixed. And then once you're done with the frequency separation, I'm going to click on dodging and burning and start to dodge and burn. And paint in your dodge layer, move to burn, paint in your burn, and so on and so forth, going back and forth. Turn that off, and there we go. So that's the actions for this tutorial. Like I said, I use these three religiously. I don't use frequency separation for product images unless there's something that I couldn't fix through healing process. Frequency separation would be a lot more helpful in that situation, then I'll use it. But for the most part, frequency separation is only for lifestyle images and portraits and headshots. The dodge and burn, pretty much use it on every single image that I retouch. So healing, frequency separation, and dodging and burning. So if I did not have these actions, I'm telling you, it would take me at least 10 minutes in total per image to just create these layers, create these adjustment layers, and so on and so forth. And because it's literally the same settings on every single one, you don't need to manually sit there and create them every single time. Now, for the frequency separation aspect of it though, I do highly recommend getting used to creating it manually, so that way you know the process. Do that manually a few times until you're pretty much automatic on creating it, because that way, let's, in the sense of like, maybe you're away from your actual workstation where you have all your shortcuts, you have all your presets set, but you are away from your workstation, so you don't have access to any of that, and you need to do a quick retouch. Something comes up, a client says, hey, I need this image within the next 2 hours, can you hit it, can you do it? And you find yourself a computer and basically something with Photoshop, and you need frequency separation. Well, you already know how to do it. In that case, it's okay to spend that extra 10 minutes and creating these images, because creating these settings, because it is a one-off. And with that said, this will conclude the actions portion for this video. I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope you guys like the videos I'm creating. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that notification bell so you guys can be notified once videos are uploaded. Drop me a comment. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments below. You can DM me on Instagram at Vitoucher. It's Vitoucher. If you guys have any questions, if you want any input on any of the images you're retouching, I'm more than happy to help you guys out. I didn't have this when I was starting off. I've literally, most of it is self-taught, other than using YouTube tutorials from other great retouchers. But throughout the course of the years, I've been able to pretty much create a structure on being efficient and being able to retouch, quickly and efficiently. So thank you guys again, and I will see you on the next video. So until next time.